we are. So I switched up to a Ned rig. I saw a big smallie cruising and he wanted nothing to do with my topwater. This looks like the one. That would be him for sure. Get over here. Nice big smallie on the Ned rig. First cast of it too. I couldn't get him on the top water, so I threw on that Ned rig and look at that. Nice big smallie. All right, just a quick break from the fishing. And I'm actually going to take you on a little tour here. There's some old gold mining history in this area. And this is actually one of the old mine shafts. So you can see here, there's a nice leopard frog. Pull this boat up a bit. You can see here, this is all the old tailings from the mine. And you see all the rust on there. That's all from iron. They took iron out of here, I guess. And all kinds of stuff. You can see on these rocks there's some nice shiny looking things. I think it's pyrite, but you do see guys come in here with buckets sometimes and pull buckets out. I'm sure they're expecting to hit it big and find some things, but I don't think there's anything left here. But there are some cool rocks. I mean, you look around here and look at this. All kinds of shiny things in there. That it's full of gold. No, it's pyrite. But we'll go up to the mine shaft here. So here it is. This goes back to, I'd say probably the 20s to 40s. Sometime in there they had a lot of gold mining activity out here, and they got in here by a series of lakes. There's a bunch of different portages that they came in and checked out, and they made these rail systems across all these portages, and came into these camps over here. I'll show you the camp next, but this is one of the old mine shafts here. I'm not sure how deep this one is, but I'm sure it goes a ways down there. Pretty cool. If you go up the hill there, there's a lot of old blast holes too, where they were exploring for a bit more, but no idea what they took out of here. But it's pretty cool to see what they would have done back then and how they got in here too. Just really interesting. Don't know how they would have got out here and done all this with some of the equipment they had and what was available to them at that time, but different times for sure. All right, just for the heck of it, the Ned rig is going down into the mine shaft. We're gonna see maybe how deep it is, if I have enough line, and maybe there's a fish in there, maybe some weirdo threw a fish in there, but we'll find out in a second. All right, let's see what's in this, or just how deep it is. Oh, snagged up. Look at that, got a fish already. Woo! Look at that monster. The mine monster. This is probably just full of all kinds of deadfall crap from restricting you to actually get down in there. Well, you can't even see how deep it is because it's so full of trees and deadfall. So if you go straight across from the old mine site, which is way across on the shore there, you can see, you come across here, and this is where the old campsite was. Look at that big old moose track right there. So this is the old mining camp down here. It's where they used to spend their days, I guess. If you keep going up the hill there, this nice trail, there's an active claim up there, so we're not going to go up there. I'm just going to show you everything right here. So not a lot left, unfortunately. In true fashion of the human race, people have taken anything worthwhile or valuable. But you can see here, there's just some old log structures of old cabins and stuff. Kind of cool. There's a bunch of them back here though. You know, there's a bunch of old log structures back here. Really nothing left of them now. There's an old bed frame right here. Old single bed frame. You know, the old fuel cans. Pretty cool back then, how it would have been living out here with nothing really, just these log buildings. Probably just, you know, wood heat, water from the lake, that type of thing, outhouses, and who knows what they were eating out here. Maybe just what they were able to catch and hunt, really. At least the lake is full of fish for them. And you can see this was actually a pretty big structure, this one. This one runs a long way here, what's left of it. Probably, you know, 40 feet long, this one. You can check that out. There's an old wood stove right there. Cool one. Look at that. Made it out of a barrel. Somebody did. They welded a door on it. Nice big wood burning stove out of a barrel. See, we used what you got back then. Somebody spent some time building that, and I'm sure kept them nice and warm for a long time. And here's the end of the building. But just to build all this back then too would have been a lot of work, probably using hand saws and you know, just the way they fit these old logs together. You can see the joints here. It's kind of twisted off the side now, but and just fit every single log perfectly like that by hand, and you know, using hand tools. You didn't have power tools back in the 1920s, 1930s when this stuff was built. Look at that. So you can see like a pin that's been made, or a dowel piece out of another stick that they've used to attach something out of there. Some more bed frames back here. And that's about it for this camp. I mean, there's an old entranceway. There's not a whole lot left here. This is just the old ruins of it now. There's a few more of these wrecked old log structures around, but that's it. Most of it's been cleaned out. So if you look off in the distance right here, there's a boat launch there now and a logging road, and off that logging road never existed when all these camps were here in the mine. So what happened was they used to pan that creek that was back there all the time, and they apparently did really well panning that creek. It was called the Floyd Creek. It comes out of Floyd Lake. You can see that lake in one of the videos we just made. Actually, we caught a bunch of bass in there. But so they used to pan that creek all the time, and they were super successful doing that until they built the logging road and they blocked the creek off and put a culvert in. So then they weren't able to get any gold panning out of there anymore. So then apparently they focused more on these mines. So they found these mine sites. There's one up the hill here, there's one across the lake there that we're gonna go explore, and this was the camp right here. There's another log structure in the woods right here, you can see. But so that was what they used to do back then. And then they came in through a series of lakes. So at the end of the lake where our lodge is, there's an old rail system there. They would take that rail system across into Yoke Lake, and then from Yoke Lake they had another rail system that went into Pipestone Lake, and then from Pipestone Lake they had another rail system that went into Clearwater Lake, and then from there they accessed the highway or whatever road infrastructure they had back then. And that's how they got everything in and everything out, because the road back here didn't exist back then. So a lot of work to get back here, a lot of portages, and with the equipment they would have had back then, it just would have been unbelievable the amount of work that they had to do to get in here to even do anything back here. And I mean, that just shows you the times, like different people, different times for sure. Yeah, we're gonna go check out something pretty cool though. We're gonna go hit the woods here, and I'm not gonna show you the shoreline because nobody really knows that it's there. So we're gonna sneak in there and I'm gonna show you just what's hiding in the woods here. Okay, here we go. Turn this camera around. You check out right here, there's an old steam engine. And unfortunately, people have stolen a lot of the stuff out of here. Just last year, there was a nice door on here. So this is part of the old mining equipment, and I'm no gold mining expert, but because of what this is attached to, I'm guessing that they use this to power the sluice machine. So I'll show you just behind it here. There's actually an old sluice machine with the screens and everything, where I'm sure they brought all the material in from the mine and they screened it all down here. And man, this thing, like, that is solid. Like, that's just, to get that in here back in 1920, 1930 would have just been a remarkable amount of work. Like, I'm sure they brought it in over the ice, but man, even still, to haul that in is just unbelievable, really. Like, it's just, you can't even fathom it, really. It's so much weight. But I mean, they had to bring it in to do what they needed to do back then. They didn't have gas powered engines for that kind of stuff, or they couldn't sustain getting fuel out here. Check it out, there's all the old valves and fittings up here. Look at that, it still spins. Cool. Then connected over here, there's some sort of like transfer case or old serial number on it. Obviously it's some sort of power transfer device. This is an old drive shaft here. Goes on to a whole bunch of old, I don't even know. Connecting rods, and yeah, connected to this big wheel. Let's check out the other end of it. And then another big door over here. So what's it say here? You can see it says something here. I don't know if you can see that, but it says J&R Townsend, New York City, USA. No date on there or anything, but here's another door. That one's wedged shut. Sure, that's where they burnt the logs. They could put full cords in there. And yeah, some more drive shaft attachments or whatever with a big wheel over here. But check this out over here. We're gonna go back to it. Connected on the other end. The old sluice machine. So you got your pipe here, which I'm sure they ran the materials through, and the screens down here. Well, I'm not sure if this stuff was brought here. Obviously the steam engine wasn't brought here, but I don't know if the screens were brought here or not, or if they actually did the screening over here. I'm not sure, but yeah, the steam engine sits just back there in the trees, and the old screen and tube right here. Well, we're gonna get out of these woods here and get back to fishing. It's enough of the little history lesson and tour. Let's get back on the lake here and catch us some smallmouth bass.
All right, I have a nice smallmouth on here. Yes, I literally saw it come out from the grass. Ooh, from the grass. I'm using my purple shadow wrap. Not bad at all. Big fat tummy on it, that's for sure. CMC hooks are so sharp. Check that out. Absolutely beautiful smallmouth. Fishing, like I said, purple shadow wraps. Awesome. Back in the grass. There she goes. Let's get another one. Nice overcast day. Perfect weather for this. I love it. So I have a nice smallmouth on. Daryl just picked me up. The rain just stopped. And I was doing some work at the lodge and wanted to come out and do some smallmouth fishing before the day got too late. And yeah, this is the second smallie I have on here. Don't think this is as big as the other one here. It's just accumulated quite a few weeds on our way in, but with the incredibly hot summer and all the sunny days we had, the weed growth is just incredible this year in our lakes. I don't know. Drop a comment if it's the same in your lakes, but so fun. But yeah, the weeds are pretty bad. So as I said before, I am using my favorite purple shadow wrap. No, not as big as the last one, but definitely one will take. Full of trouble, so we'll just be careful. Let's just unhook this fish here real quick. Not as big as the other one, maybe a quarter pounder, just like how I like my burgers at McDonald's, but not bad. Not bad post and kind of pre-prep. It's gonna rain again, but happy I came out. Took a little break.